Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. Well, no, I'm so used to Monday. Happy, what is it? Thursday. Awesome. Happy Thursday, everybody. So glad to see everyone tonight. Those of you who are joining me for the first time, my name is Coach Kiba. I'm here in the DC area, and tonight I want to talk about how to ace your life. And A simply means accept, commit, and embrace your life. And the topic we want to talk about tonight is divorcing your stinking thinking. How to ace your life? You got to divorce your stinking thinking. It seems really bright, but okay. Anywho, now this topic comes about because, as some of you know, I come on Monday night, and here lately I've been talking about divorce. And of course, I divorced about 8 years ago. And so I know the pain of divorce. I know what it feels like to go through the death of a relationship, a marriage of 17 years. And I know what it's like for your children to go through the divorce. I know the pain, the resentment, the anger. I know all that, went through it. But the key thing is I went through it. And if you're experiencing divorce or you're going through it, I just want to encourage you and let you know that all storms pass. And yes, it's difficult right now, but go through the process, deal with the anger, and life gets better after divorce. But tonight I want to talk about the topic of stinking thinking. And when I talk about stinking thinking, what I'm referring to is how we get in our mindset and how we get stuck in our mindset. And a lot of times when we get to thinking, the mind gets to roaming, and we get caught up into that. And like I say, all of us have a story, but it depends on what your story is, how it impacts your life, whether negatively or in a positive manner. And so stinking thinking really deals with those thoughts that are negative thoughts, and we allow ourselves to get stuck in those thoughts. And we wonder why, we go through this cycle and we keep having these similar, same type familiar situations, similar, same type stories, is because we have allowed ourselves to get stuck in our negative thought pattern, in our negative limiting mindset and our limiting beliefs. And so tonight I want to talk about ways that you can change your stinking thinking mindset. And so sometimes I check Facebook and I see my friends and I hear different stories of, people dealing with different issues. And we all have a season. Our seasons change just like the seasons from winter to spring to summer to fall. They are going to change. We have good days, we have bad days. But I just want to encourage you and let you know that it will pass. Nothing is permanent. Nothing. It will pass. You just have to weather the storm. You have to learn the lesson. You have to just decide, hey, this is it for me. This is what I'm dealing with right now, but this is not permanent. And when you go into a storm with that mindset, all storms pass. The sun always come out after a storm. There is a rainbow after every storm. When you go in with that positive mindset, you cannot do anything other than come out a winner. But you have to understand, when you have a negative mindset, then that negative mindset determines how you go through the storm and if you're going to be defeated or destroyed because of the storm. But it all begins right here. It all starts with the mind. It all starts with your thinking. Your thinking. It all starts with the mind. If you can begin to really look at how the mind works. And that's why it's so critically important that we protect and we guard our mind. The Bible tells us that we should guard our heart, but I also encourage you, include your mind in that, because the mind, without the mind being in a good place and being in a right place, then your whole life is messed up. If your mind is not right, That's why I say there is no health without mental health. If you're not okay mentally, then nothing in your life is right, because it all starts with the mind. Our creative process starts with the mind, the imagination. If we can think it, if we can believe it, we can have it. It all starts with our mind. And so tonight, that's why I want to talk about stinking thinking. We got to get in there and we got to clean up our mind. We got to clean up our thoughts. We got to look at what we're feeding our mind, because what goes in is what's coming out. What you feed yourself is what you're going to put out. So all these things are critically important. And so I was thinking earlier today, I grew up on a farm in Mississippi, and it wasn't an animal farm. It was more agricultural. Like my father grows soybeans, and he's been doing this forever. As far as I'm concerned, all my life, which is 40 plus years. And so, but the thing I want to point out about farming is, if you notice, it could be a rose garden, it can be a cornfield, soybean field, any type of grain that you plant. But if you notice, when you plant, you put down a particular seed, whether it's flower, fruit, or whatever. But something about planting, there is this thing called a weed. And you do not have to plant a weed for a weed to grow. They just grow. They just grow. And so the weeds are equivalent to what I define as stinking thinking. They just come. Sometime a thought may come from out of nowhere, and you're like, well, dang, where did that come from? But if the thought comes, you don't have to believe every thought. Every thought is not necessarily true. And you don't have to believe every thought just because it comes. A lot of times I tell my clients, think of a thought as a cloud. If you look in the sky, the clouds come, they move in slowly, and they move on. And our thoughts are the same way. But what we do sometimes, that thought comes and we stop it and we listen to it. And instead of challenging or questioning the thought, we just believe it. Oh, I thought it, so it must be true. But you have to question the thought. Is it true? And if it is true, what can I do to better myself based on this thought? And if it's not true, what can I do to move forward past this negative thought? Because believe it or not, if you think a thought long enough, you're going to create the reality of that thought. There's nothing wrong with thinking a thought, but there is an issue that you will create if you focus on that thought and allow your energy to feed into that thought. That's when we have the problem. And that's the weed that we have to go in and we have to pull up. We have to pull up and separate ourselves from those thoughts that do not empower us, those thoughts that are not true to who we are. We have to go in and do the work. You know, somebody made a response to my post, because I was like, I had made a post about hiring a life coach. And the response was, God is free. And my response was, well, even God comes with a cost. Nothing in life is free. Everything may not be monetary in the sense of you paying out, but nothing is free. Everything requires some form of work, commitment, sacrifice. You have to do something, even with God. Even with God, there comes a cost, there comes a sacrifice, there comes a commitment. Nothing is in life is free. You got to work for what you want. If you want your life to change, then you got to invest in yourself and you got to do the work. And that's it. That's the bottom line. Nothing comes free, and anything worth having, you got to work for it. Even bettering yourself. I had to work to get to where I am. I had to invest not just my time and energy. I invested money. I sat with counselors and coaches and therapists to get to where I am. But now I know this is not for everybody. Everybody's not going to commit and invest in themselves to become better. But you are going to have those that are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And they are going to do what is necessary to create a better life for themselves. So I'm not offended when someone come at me and say, well, God is free. No, he's not. He's not free. Not in the sense that you're talking, because everything requires a commitment. Everything requires some type of work on our part if we're going to accomplish anything in life. You're going to have to work for it. So when the thoughts come, those weeds, as I call them, you have to do the work to separate yourself and change your thoughts. You have to challenge, you have to question, is this true? And what can I do about it? And if it's not true, then what am I going to do about it? Another thing when it comes to changing your stinking thinking is, like I said, you have to be careful what you feed your mind. A lot of times, if all we have is negative thoughts and negative experience, then we're going to have to do the work to feed our mind. You know, find a book, read every day, read until you just absorb it into your mind, into your spirit, into your being. And as you feed yourself the positive things, the positive affirmations, the positive things that tell you that you can make it, that you're not the only one, you have to feed your mind, because if you don't, all you have is negative. But if you don't have anything to offset the negative, then you're going to be walking around defeated for the rest of your life. So you have to do the work. You have to feed your mind. Just like fertilizer in the field. We fertilize our crops because we want the crops to grow and become beautiful and create a great harvest. So when the harvest time comes in the fall, we want a great crop. So when we go sell, we make the money. But it takes fertilizer. It takes work. It takes weeding out the weeds. And you have to weed out the weeds. You have to feed your mind. Fertilize it with those things that are positive. And another thing, associate yourself with people who are positive. Find you a role model who will encourage you, who will show you that, hey, this is just a moment. This is not permanent. This is just a storm. This will pass. You have to separate yourself from those things that are negative, and those things that pull you down, and those things that put you in a negative mindset. And sometimes it means changing your friends. Sometimes it means separating yourself from your family members who feed you this negative stuff and tell you, you know, who you are, who they think you are, who they think you should be. But at the end of the day, it's not about what they think. It's about what you think. It's about what you believe, because life gives you what you believe. You can ask all day, but if you don't believe, if you don't think that you deserve it, listen to me. It is not happening. It is not happening. It starts with your mindset. And if your mindset tells you, oh, you don't deserve that, or you do deserve that because you did A, B, and C. And if you believe that, if you believe that you do not deserve what life has to offer, the best that life has to offer, if you don't believe that, you're not going to receive that. It's all in the mindset. That's why you have to guard your mind. You have to feed your mind. You have to associate yourself with people who are like-minded, people who think like you think in a positive way, people who have gone through what you have gone through, people who have accomplished what you want to accomplish. You have to associate yourself with people who are going the way that you are going. Birds of a feather flock together is a true saying. I can tell the type of person you are by the company that you keep. So if you with messy people all the time, 99% of the time, yeah, you messy too. If you with positive people who are striving and who are working to better themselves and better the world, you know what? There's a 99% chance, I believe, that you are positive too. And you are about, you know, empowering and making the world better. But you have to raise your standard to a level that this is what I want, this is what I'm going after, and I need to associate myself with the people who are going after what I want. And you have to be willing to do that. And sometimes it is going to cause you to separate yourself. Sometimes it's going to cause you to say, hey, I need some alone time because I got to figure out what's going on with me. I have to figure out what is this going on in my mind? Where are these negative thoughts coming from? And what am I going to do about it? I need to spend some time alone so I can get myself together. So I can come out stronger. So I can come out empowered. So I can have the life that I want. But you got to change your thinking. Everything is about thinking. Thinking. Because if you have these negative thoughts, what does it do? We find ourselves going into an emotional state, in a mental state that's negative. And like I said, there is no health without mental health. If your mind ain't right, your life is not right. Your relationships are not right. Anything that you try to do is not right, because mentally and emotionally you're depleted, and you have to do the work to build yourself up. Like I said, read, study people who are living the life that you want. Study people who have gone through what you have gone through, but they survived it. Just because you're in the storm right now doesn't mean the storm is going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever, whether good or bad. It will pass. It's hard right now, but it will pass. Trust me. Pain, yes, I know it. I know it very well, but it doesn't last forever. And as you begin to practice changing your mindset, I guarantee you, when the storms come, you will take on a different mindset, because you've already prepared yourself mentally, emotionally, physically for the storm. A lot of times we want to wait until the tornado comes and then we want to build a basement. Well, it's too late then. It's too late to build a basement. When the tornado is in your face, you got to build the basement. You got to lay the foundation, so when the storm comes, when the tornado of life comes, you will stand. You will be positive, because you've already built yourself up. My mindset today is totally opposite of where I was 5 years ago, 8 years ago. I have a totally different mindset, but I had to do the work. I had to go in and I had to pull up some weeds and some negative thoughts and some stinking thinking. I had to do all that. It comes at a price, but it is well worth the labor. It is well worth the work. And people, I was talking to a friend last week, and he was watching one of my scopes, and he was like, oh, she ain't really, is she really that happy? Or is she just putting on a front because she's doing, her broadcast? And I had to tell him, brother, no, I really am this happy. I said, it is no front. That's why I do what I do every week, because I want to share. It's no front. I am truly happy. Do I have off days? Of course, we all do. We're human. Do I get frustrated? Of course, we all do. We're human. But do I stay stuck in that mindset, in that situation, in that mental state of emotion? No, because I know better. It's just like, you have to be careful what comes out of your mouth, because your words are powerful. So when I hear people talk about money and being broke, I learned a long time ago, you will never hear me say, and I don't use the word never a lot. I try to not to use it, because we never know what will happen. But this, you will not hear me say. You will not hear Makiba say, I am broke. I am so broke. If I got 10 cents in the bank, I'm not broke. You have to be careful what flows out of your mouth, because our words, they are powerful. Our words create our reality. I never say I'm broke. Never. You have to be careful what you say, because people think, oh, well, it doesn't really matter. I didn't really mean it. No. You keep saying it enough, whether you mean it or not, you create it. You'll never have enough money. With that mindset, oh, I'm so broke, I can't even pay attention. Okay, keep saying that. You're going to stay broke. You keep speaking that, that's your reality. I might not have as much money as the next person, but broke, you will never hear me say. You will never hear me say I'm broke, because I understand the power of my words. I am creating a reality. They're going out, and I am creating a reality. I mean, you might hear me say, well, I'm on a budget right now. I got some stuff I'm working out, so I can't do that right now, because I'm on this budget. I got some stuff to do. Now that you will hear me say. But broke, no, you won't hear me say that, because I understand I am creating the words I speak. They are powerful. They are real. They are spirit. They go to work. When they flow out your mouth, they go to work. And you keep speaking those words, you believe that stuff. You believe you're broke. Oh, I'm always this and I'm always that. You know what? You keep talking like that, you're always going to be in that mindset. You're always going to be in that situation. Oh, I ain't going to never find love. Nope. You keep talking like that, you're never going to find love, because you are creating that reality. But it all starts with the mind. It all starts with the mind, that stinking thinking. But if you want to create a life, if you want to ace your life, you have to do the work. You have to get in there and pull up those weeds of stinking thinking. And I guarantee you, when you get in there and you do the work and you clean up your mindset and you begin to believe that life is not out to get you, God is not out to get you. Really? God is out to get you. He knows you're in from your beginning. He knew you before he created you in your mother's womb. And you think God really is out to get you? No. Change your mindset. Change your thinking. God loves you. God is love. Now, are there consequences to what we do? Yes. But that ain't just for one person. That's universal. The laws are already in place. I keep saying, God has already laid out the laws. He's not going to change it for you. There's consequences to what we do, whether good or bad. We reap, we sow, whether good or bad. It's already in place. So this mindset of God's out to get me and God's out to punish me. No, honey, God loves you. But he can't change the game for you. He's not going to change it for me. You got to play by the rule. You got to learn what the rules are and apply them, and guarantee you your life will become better. Your life will be the life that you desire. But at the end of the day, you got to do the work. You have to make the sacrifice. You have to make the commitment. You have to change your stinking thinking. And I promise you, once you make that commitment, once you change your stinking thinking, you can ace your life. You can create the very life that you see others have. And you're like, well, why can't I have that? Well, you can't have that. God is not a respecter of person where, oh, I'm going to bless this one and I'm not going to bless that one. No. He gives us all that we need. But the problem is some of us actually believe and others don't. Some of us believe that life is good and life is for me. And because of that mentality, life brings to us what we desire. Life gives us what we go after. Life gives us what we speak. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall live thereby. Yes, the power of the tongue, death and life. So be careful what you say, because you're creating what you say. Life gives you what you believe, what you speak. You speak it long enough, you will start believing it. And that's why you have to be careful what flows out of your mouth. You have to be careful. You have to guard yourself. You can't just hang around with junky people and think it is not going to impact you. If you want to go and soar with eagles, then you can't hang around the chickens. You got to get out of the chicken yard. If you're going to be with eagles, you got to go find you some eagles so you can learn how eagles do what they do, how eagles soar, how eagles create nests, how eagles, do what they do. You got to find somebody. You got to find a role model that can teach you and show you how to become that person that you want to become. But again, who you run with, that determines who you are. Oh, no, I'm not about all that. Okay, but you running with that every day? Every time I see that negative group, I see you. Oh, yeah, you about all that. I need you to own that. You need to own that, because until you own and accept the reality of where you are, you're going to be stuck where you are. I had to own my junk. I had to own my mess. I had to own I was messed up. I had to own that I needed to make a change up here, because until I made a change up here mentally, nothing in my life got right. It wasn't until I started reading, I started studying, I started watching stuff, I started watching people, I started listening to people who were living the life that I wanted, people who were teaching me how to create and become this person that I wanted to become, this person of positive and not negative, this person who had good thoughts and not bad thoughts, this person who didn't believe that God was out to get me, but God loves me. I sought it out. I studied, I read, and I still do. I don't care about TV as much as I care about learning and growing and becoming. Because as I drink it, as I fill my cup, then I have something to pour out to the world. I have something to pour out to others. But do you think I could do what I do and I sit in front of the TV and eat junk and popcorn and watch movies all day? No. No, I could not. I have to sacrifice my time. I have to sacrifice my energy. I'm hungry, but my hunger is for the good. My hunger is for growing and becoming so I can feed, so I can push out. And I go back and I eat more so I can feed and I can push it out. I can share my knowledge. I can share my experiences. I have no regrets of what happened in my past, because every situation, every circumstance was a learning lesson. It was a stepping stone to take me to the next level. And now I understand storms don't come to destroy you. Storms come to build you, to make you strong. But you have to prepare for the storm now, while it's beautiful, while it's sunny. You got to do the work while the sun is shining, because one day it's going to rain. It is going to rain in your life. It happens to all of us. But again, it starts with the mindset. It starts with clearing up that stinking thinking. So when that storm come, when that season of rain come, honey, you will rise above the storm. If you don't have a boat, you will know how to create the boat. You will sail. You will soar. You will be like the eagle. You can soar above the storm. It's a beautiful thing when you get your mind together, because everything starts with the mind, with the mindset. What are you thinking? And do you believe the stuff that you're thinking? Do you believe that really? Do you really believe that life is for you? Do you really believe that God loves you? Do you really believe that you have this source of divine connection, that you can have what you say you want? You can create the life that you want because you are divinely connected to the Creator Himself? If you believe that, nothing is off limits to you. You can create whatever life you have, but you got to believe it. Whatever life you desire, if you believe it, you can have it. Life gives you what you believe, what you go after, what you believe you deserve. And if you believe you deserve woe is me, then believe me, honey, woe is me is coming. But if you believe, hey, I'm more than a conqueror, I can do, I can create, I can be, I can do all things, yes, then that's what life is going to bring you. But it's all about the thinking. So I encourage you tonight, clear up your stinking thinking, and you can ace your life. You can create any life that you desire. And for those of you who may be going through a storm right now, let me encourage you and tell you from experience, this too shall pass. You see this bracelet? I had this made a couple of years ago. And what it says is, on the heart, it says, I am. And on the little round part here, it says, this too shall pass. Just a little reminder. All storms pass. And sometimes, you know, it may take you. This works for me. As a reminder, nothing is permanent. All storms pass. This too shall pass. So whatever this is my reminder. This too shall pass. So have an awesome night. As always, I am so grateful. If this video has inspired you, encouraged you, if you find any value in it, please share it. Please share it. It will be available on Facebook. And from my understanding, Periscope now keeps videos permanently. So you can check me out anytime. Please go to my website at iamcoachkiba.com. If you have any questions, you can also shoot me an email at info, that's INFO, at iamcoachkiba.com. So I appreciate you once again. Peace and love to you, and have an awesome, awesome night. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for the green hearts. All right. Love you. Bye-bye.